Everybody, I'm Hillary Atkin from the Atkin Report, and I am delighted to welcome Carly Pope from IFC Midnight's new feature film Demonic to this edition of Hillary's Happy Hour. Carly, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thanks, Hillary. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, Carly.
I love virtual happy hours.
It's always happy hour somewhere in the world, right?
That's right.
So interestingly, your character in this film is also named Carly, and a mother-daughter conflict is at the very heart of it. So tell us more about your character and the exceptional circumstances she finds herself in.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, Carly in the film and her mother have been estranged for a very long time. Like her mother committed crimes back when Carly was a teenager, and Carly decided to cut her off and swore off ever having a relationship going forward with her. And of course, at the root of that, there's a whole lot of trauma that has been sitting there unresolved. So when we pick up in the film in present day, Carly is invited to participate in this experimental study that allows her to connect, in this case, with her mother, who is still incarcerated, but in a coma. And these people come to Carly and say, you can communicate with your mother in her mind. And we would like you to do that, if you will. It will help her with her, with her recovery, basically. And so it's a really confronting concept, given the fact that there's so much trauma, so much unresolved business, so much distrust, and just kind of incomprehensible pain for her going in. So she agrees to go and do it, but sort of under the guise of like, yeah, I can ask my questions and I can get some closure and we will be happily on our way. But of course, once she's in that space with her mother, a lot more unravels and a lot more is revealed about the source of all of that trauma and pain. And Carly has to figure out a way to not only salvage the relationship, but also her own self.
Well, I was going to use the word unleashed, but it'd be very appropriate. Yeah, but absolutely. You have worked with director Neill Blomkamp before in Elysium, and I wanted to hear what it was like working with him again. And of course, everyone knows him from his iconic sci-fi film District 9, for which he was Oscar nominated for writing. Yeah. So what's it like to be with Neill again?
Well, in between the bookends of Elysium and Demonic, we actually worked together a number of times on these short films that he did he created a studio called Oat Studios, which was sort of like his own sandbox to play in, with these experimental shorts that, he was trying out new concepts that were unrestricted and unwavering in their approach to different genres and everything else. So I was fortunate enough to have this interim experience with Neill on a number of those, which sort of helped build, I guess, our rapport and our familiarity with one another and how we both work. So this was really cool because, with Elysium back when we shot that in 2011, that was like, I was only on set for 6 or 7 days, and it was massive. It was a massive film, massive budget, massive cast, everything. So it was, I didn't have a lot of interaction with him on that one. I had a lot more interaction with him on the Oats shorts, but again, those were short form, shot in a few days kind of projects. So this was just such a treat and such a delight to work with him in like a long form capacity, and to really, really like dive into the material and break things down and collaborate and have fun and just like make a film, make entertainment, especially during the time that we made it in.
Well, he said that he was inspired by Paranormal Activity, but what was the production like for you, and what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during it?
Right. I mean, I think the one of the biggest hurdles was just getting out of, like getting out of like a locked down environment in Los Angeles and traveling back up to my home province of British Columbia to shoot this film in a pandemic, in a global pandemic, which had very sort of like, ever changing and unknown parameters. Like it was, I think that was the biggest hurdle for me, was kind of going from like this very, very small, safe space with a very, very myopic view of like it's a Groundhog's Day, like over and over and over again. Like we have our dog to walk and water, and we have ourselves to feed, and then we go to bed and we start again the next day, to expanding out and creating content. It was actually it felt really big at the time. I've been doing this for so long, and this felt like really big. It felt like a big hurdle to kind of like cross the border and start a film and do all of that amidst this backdrop of the pandemic.
Well, it opens on August 20th. We are really looking forward to it. And Carly, I want to propose a toast to you and your success with Demonic.
Oh,
it'll be great to see you on the big screen again.
Thank you very much, Hillary. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And cheers to you. And thanks for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.